All right, once again, Riding Dirty Raw, back, man. I'm so honored to have this person in front of me. This is a person I've been wanting to talk to, I've known for a while, but I'm going to pretend I don't know you because I want to ask all the things the people want to know. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Riding Dirty Raw, Aisha Sekhmet.
Hey,
how you
it
doing?
is so good. It is so good to see you, to hear your voice. You met me on the grind in the underground open mic Atlanta scene. So our relationship will always be special.
Man, we go back to when you was Miss Aisha.
Oh my God, yes.
And
isn't that something?
And the name of the song was Cat Got Your Tongue, something like that.
The name of the song was Pussy on Your Grill.
Okay.
Hey,
I knew it was Cat Got Your Tongue, something like that. I was right. Cat, tongue, pussy, grill, same thing. So look, let's give these people a history lesson. First thing, I want you to let everyone know where Aisha Sekhmet is from and what were the beginning of your life and career like.
Okay, cool. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. Born in New Orleans, but raised in a small country town that no one has probably ever heard of. Went to high school down in Louisiana, grew up in the swamps, went to the military after high school, started rapping in high school, performed my first rap song at the pep rally in like the 11th grade. So always had a love for hip hop, grew up on BET, MTV, and VH1. Actually grew up on East Coast hip hop because all we had was, TV and radio. You didn't have the internet. But seriously started recording and stuff when I was in the military and writing more. And so I recorded my first album and put it out probably in, I think that was 2007. So been rapping a long time.
All right, let's rewind. All right, you said you're from a small town in Louisiana. You got to shout that town out.
Okay, shout out to Houma and Smith Ridge. You have to be from Smith Ridge to know what Smith Ridge is, and you have to be from New Orleans to know what Houma is. But for those people who are down from that those country towns, we call it down the bayou. We call it the swamp.
Okay. All right. Now, you mentioned that you started rapping in high school, but you got more serious into it in the military. Let's go back to high school and that pep rally. What was that pep rally and that rhyming in front of people experience like?
I wasn't scared at all because I had been on the dance team throughout high school, so I was used to being in front of a crowd. I wasn't scared, and it was over a bounce beat. The name of the song was Project Bounce. And so I wrote a song to Project Bounce. It was a local New Orleans rap song. And I called my song Gator Bounce. And so I just rapped it. And the band, our high school band, they were the beat because they didn't play it back through the speakers. And I will never forget that. I had practiced the song with the band and we did the song at the pep rally. And now when I look back at it, I'm like, wow, I didn't even think I was a rapper. I was just a kid, having fun or whatever. So crazy.
Okay. How did the people receive it?
They loved it because, everybody in the high school knows you, it's your friends. They know you on the dance team. And so they were bucking me up.
Okay. All right. Now, from that, what made you decide to take the military route instead of diving directly into music?
Man, Vic, I can't really answer that. I come from a patriotic family. A lot of my family members were in the Air Force and Army, and met a recruiter at high school, and just, I don't know, my mom gave me her blessing, and so I went to basic training and stayed in for several years. I don't know why I didn't go to college. I don't know. I always kind of gravitated to military, political stuff, even in high school. I don't know.
All right, so being a Black woman from a small town in Louisiana, what was that military experience like for you?
It was scary. First time I had been away from home, been away from my mom and grandmother and brother and sister. So that was scary, you know. Jumped off the porch, graduated in May, went to basic training in August. It was very aggressive. It was physically demanding. It was mentally demanding. But I would say that's one of the accomplishments in my life that I'm proud of, because I completed basic training. I stayed in for several years, but it was hard, you know. I think more mentally hard than anything. So, yeah.
Was there some qualities that you learned in the military that you still apply to your everyday life?
Yes, indeed. Never giving up, being dedicated, standing for something, teamwork. Even though I'm independent, I'm not on a label and with a crew of people or whatever, I still believe in teamwork. And I that was rooted in me when I was serving in the military. So those things. And I think I have some leadership. I gained some leadership skills, you know, being in the service.
All right, now, young girl on your own in the military, and you know, we hear a lot of things about, should African Americans go to the military? Shouldn't they go to the military? This country is not for us. If a young female teen asks you today in 2021, do you think I should go into the military? What would your answer be?
I can't tell anyone what to do. If that person feels like they're going to be out here getting in trouble, having a bunch of kids out of wedlock, isn't ready to go to college, I would recommend it, but know what you're getting yourself into. Know that you can possibly make the ultimate sacrifice and lose your life if you deploy to a foreign country and we're in war. You know, understand that the sacrifice you could possibly make. Other than that, I don't recommend any young person to just graduate high school, don't go to college and do nothing, you know, just meander through and try to, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do something, you know. And I have had negative feelings against this country while serving, after serving. So, you know, I can't say 100% that I would recommend it. I would say 80-90%. If you know that you're not going to do anything out of high school, you could possibly start getting into trouble, having a bunch of babies, you know, putting yourself in negative situations that you can't afford to be in. Go to the military, you know.
Okay.
That's Aisha's opinion. Somebody might get pissed off that I say that, but hey, it is what it is. At the end of the day, only you have your back. Only you're responsible for you. Once you're 18 and you graduate, you're responsible for you. You know, what are you going to do with your life? So,
all right. Now, you didn't say what branch. So what branch and how long were you actually in?
I was in the Army for 4 years, combat medic.
Okay, combat medic. So that put you in position to do what type of career once you got out?
A medical assistant, could work in ambulatory care, could work in labor and delivery. I gained a lot of emergency medical experience, even worked in the hospital while I was active duty. But when I got out, I just did not want to work in a hospital clinical setting. Hell no. I did something totally left field when I got out. I actually started dancing. But I did gain those skills. I gained those medical clinical skills, that field training and stuff like that. But when I got out, I was like, no, I ain't working in the hospital. It's just not for me.
All right. So you know this story just took a turn. So you went from high school, to the military to dancing.
Yeah.
So what was dancing like and how long did you dance?
I danced a while. It's not something I really like to talk about. Dancing, the first time I walked in a strip club, it scared me. It just scared me. I'm a woman, but I walked in, I had never been in a setting like that, and just titties were out, and you know, it was like, no, I'm serious. And I remember walking in the door and I froze. I was like, no, I can't. And I don't know, as I kept going back, it just became a part of my life. So got a lot of respect for women who are in that hustle. I don't judge people. I've met a lot of people, made a lot of friends, learned a lot about the streets and life. I don't judge nobody if that's your hustle, but I will never go back to doing that.
Okay, now you said you released your first project after the military in 2007.
Yeah.
What was the name of that project?
So that song was that CD was called Gucci Girl Fly, and the song Pussy on Your Grill was on that CD. And I remember when I met you, you were like, why did you write that? You are so much better than that. I was like, who is he to tell me that you should write? You know what I'm saying? But that song was buzzing on the internet. A guy named Big Swole, shout out to Swole, he from Mississippi. He was working that song for me and everything. People were liking it. And then, I just went another route, maybe a year and a half later, and started doing conscious rap.
All right, so I have, all right, because again, this story keeps taking these turns. So
that's life.
I mean, no, it's definitely life. Okay, so Miss Aisha,
yep,
had a song, Pussy on My Grill. The next thing I know, I see Miss Aisha going viral on World Star with a song called White Man's Bitch.
Ain't that something?
So you went from, just because I don't have a term, we're just gonna call it strip rap. You went from strip rap to conscious rap. What made that turn? What made that mental turn in your number one, in your thought process, number two, in your music making process?
That's a good question that I still am not able to answer. I'm constantly trying to learn more about myself as a person and an artist. So I always say, how did I go from that to that? Like I told you, since I was like a teenager, my dad was in the Nation of Islam. So I had seeds planted in me about social issues, politically conscious things or whatever. I was reading Malcolm X when I was dancing in the club, because this guy used to come in a club and kind of try to talk to me about political stuff. I never rejected it, but I didn't want to hear that because I was at work. I moved to Atlanta after I had did the Pussy on Your Grill record, and I don't know, I just became more and more a reader of Black liberation theology. And this was at a time when social media wasn't popping. Nobody was an activist. People wasn't messing with that. And if you were leaning that way, people were kind of afraid to even fuck with you. So I don't know. I was just reading that heavy, Vic. And probably, I don't know, I was going through things in life, lonely feelings, depression. So maybe that made me be more into reading books and shit. But I was in the streets heavy, you know that. I was at all the open mics, all the underground clubs, coming to support your stuff. And just, I always had an overwhelming feeling that, goddamn, Black people are just, we are just the most regressive race of people. We're not progressing. And I was like having mixed angry feelings of anger, feelings of frustration with our race, reading these books. And I wrote that song. I heard Yo Gotti's song in the club one night, and I thought of that, and I'm like, it was like 5-star bitch. And I was like, what the fuck? Love Yo Gotti. I love Yo Gotti music since I was dancing. I said, well, I'm gonna write a song called You the White Man's Bitch. And then I put it on YouTube and it just went crazy. So that's what happened.
Like, how did you feel seeing that video on World Star and doing the numbers it did?
That was weird. That really was weird. I didn't think it was gonna go viral, and that was like 2009. So we didn't even know what going viral was. All of us were new to the internet. Fab Five Freddy called me. Well, he hit me up on MySpace because MySpace was still kind of relevant back then in 2009. And he sent me a message and I was like, that's Fab Five Freddy that I watched on TV as a little girl? So I talked to him or whatever, but we didn't keep in touch because he was going to try to get a real video done for it.
Okay.
But shout out to him who didn't know me, was like, damn, look at that chick. You know, I guess he was like, wow, let me reach out to her. So if I ever meet him in person, I will feel honored because Fab Five Freddy is a childhood legend to me. He is a legend in hip hop and he reached out to me on MySpace. I will never forget that. And I talked to him maybe once or twice, but like, I'm such a, I don't know what you call it. I'm like a very impatient person. I've matured from that over the years, but back then I was super impatient, super angry, super gun-ho. And if I would have slowed down, I think he could have helped me a lot, but I didn't. I was just doing
all right,
not all kinds of shit.
All right, I want to go backwards. I want to go back because we talked about, because you actually done that record while you were in Atlanta.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about, because you were basically a Katrina survivor. You was in New Orleans when Katrina hit, correct?
Oh yeah, sure was.
And Katrina is what led you to Atlanta, correct?
No, I was all over the place after Katrina. Came to Atlanta, years later, like 3 years after Katrina.
Okay, well, what was the climate like, or what was the environment like for you during the time of Katrina in Louisiana?
I can remember being at the strip club the week of Katrina. I can remember being there 2 nights maybe before when they were like on the news saying, hey, a Category 5 storm is coming, and just feeling this weird, odd, eerie feeling like this is weird. Something, the city may be underwater in 2 days. Evacuated, I went to Houston and came back home. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks later, or whenever they opened the city back up. I had an apartment back then, everything gone. The apartment next door, a tornado had hit it. All the bricks were gone. All you could see were the steel beams of the apartment. It was so strange. So I know people who sat on their roof for days until the Navy came with boats. For me, I got out. I was able to evacuate. But for the most part, I would say it took almost 4 to 5 years before people stopped feeling some kind of way about how Katrina affected. It took a while. People talked about that for years.
All right, now, so, being at that time, being a military vet, do you feel like, just from your standpoint, that situation was handled correctly by our government?
I know the Corps of Engineers were responsible for manufacturing the levee system, and they received a lot of negative feedback and press for their work on the levee. The action that the local government took, the governor and the mayor, as far as evacuating people, no. Me and millions of other people can attest and say that their efforts to evacuate people, their mitigation efforts, even the redevelopment efforts, is just lacking. It was just poor. We had poor leadership. I was much younger back then too, so I was going through all kinds of personal stuff. All I knew is get my kids, go to Houston. I wasn't really worried about what the mayor and governor were doing because I never trusted that, I never trusted that they were taking a strong position of leadership and authority in the first place because they were so slow in telling people to leave. So, but that was crazy. I try not to think about Katrina, but that was truly, that was insane.
Okay. All right. You're in Atlanta. You went viral. You got a call from Fab Five Freddy. And basically, from what I see, you became a household name, especially when it came to conscience rap for a female. What was that like? And what was it like being a house? Because at that time, when I thought of conscious rap females, You were like at the top of the list. Like you were after the Sister Soldiers and the ISIS and
Wow.
Queen Mother Rage and a lot of the women who done it. You were after those. So you were definitely one of the top 5, in my opinion, females of conscious rap. How was the conscious rap community accepting of you?
First of all, I never looked at myself as a conscious rapper. Thank you for what you said. That really makes me feel good. I was just like writing what I felt in my heart. And then all of a sudden I felt like I was labeled as the conscious rapper. And I feel like the conscious community rejected me. They talked about me wearing weave. Oh, she was a stripper. Why she got a makeup? Just all this negativity. So I tried to rise above that, just keep writing and trying to make a difference. I thought I was making a difference by just being, a raw, uncut artist. I don't feel like I got a lot of love from the conscious community. I really don't care. But I do appreciate the fans that I still have and people who truly like me, no matter what my past was or how I looked or whatever. But that's interesting how that happened, because you knew me before the RBG Black Power music. So that is interesting how I was I felt like I was categorized or in a way that I didn't want to be. I just wanted to be known as, Aisha, she rap. But people put labels on you. Oh, she a political rapper. Oh, she a trap rapper. So I didn't want to be labeled that, but that's life. People gotta put a label on everything. So,
all right, now, also in that, you went from Miss Aisha to Aisha Sekhmet.
Yeah.
Why the name change, and tell the definition of the Sekhmet? What made you add that?
Okay, so I added that because I was studying a lot of ancient Egyptian history. The goddess Sekhmet is a goddess of truth, righteousness, justice, reciprocity. And so I felt like those ideals and traits were right in alignment with the way I am, the kind of person I am. So I was reading about them like, oh, I'm gonna take on that name. Just something that happened. I had never heard of Egyptian mythology. I never heard of the pyramids and all of that history. I never heard of that as a kid. I learned about that on YouTube. So that's not even written in the history books with our face on it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I took that on. And then I changed my name to CEO Sekhmet.
No. Let me.
I'm always doing shit.
Let me, because I'm trying to keep the timeline correct.
Yes.
So you are a prominent figure in the conscious rap community, RBG movement. Then all of a sudden, you vanish off of social media. It's like any music by you couldn't be found. It's like you just poof. I'm Googling your name. I don't find anything. I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to file a missing person report. So what caused you to ghost the world?
First of all, I want to apologize to my fans, because I realize there are people out there who truly love me and love what I was doing, no matter what, including you. Thank you. You've always encouraged me. I've dealt with depression all my life since I was a teenager. Won't go into a whole lot of detail, but sometimes I get in very dark places and I fuck with music. I don't watch TV. I just like shut myself off from the world. And I won't go into detail. Everybody go through things in life. Everybody's dealing with something, but that is a thorn in my side, depression. So sometimes it'll come and go, but sometimes it'll be for a few years. And so I apologize. I've deleted my music. I've deleted videos, things that people really enjoyed. And then when I snap out of it, I'd be like, why did I do that? But I'm sorry. I know it may sound crazy. This is the God honest truth.
So when you're sitting there and you got your finger on the mouse, do you be like, no?
Nah, I mean, it could be coupled with just even being an independent artist is hard. It really is. So a lot of times I'll just step away from my own to regroup mentally. What do I want to do? What direction do I want to go in? It's just me. I don't have a team. I'm the team, you know, so that could be a little bit overwhelming. That's another reason sometimes I take a break. But when I took that long break like that, I was just dealing with a lot of personal stuff. I apologize to my fans if they take it personal. A lot of people take things personal when they're really feel connected to an artist. So I'm serious. To my fans, I'm sorry. I've seen y'all messages over the years. I hope you don't take it personal. You know, I love music. I love hip hop. I enjoy being an artist, but sometimes life comes and you have to deal with life. And so.
All right, you've mentioned two things that I definitely want to, I want you to give advice to, especially ladies. Number one, you mentioned depression, and especially in the African-American community, being Black, we tend to have the just deal with it attitude. In 2021, I'm seeing more people in the African-American community willing to get help when it comes to anxiety, depression. For any lady watching this video and listening to you speak, what would be your words of advice or encouragement when it comes to dealing with depression?
Well, I'm not a mental health professional, but as a human being, I would say never be ashamed of whatever you're going through and to seek professional help. And that goes to men and women. I truly believe my fan base is largely men for some reason. Men are hip hop critics, and it's hard to get a fan base of males when you're a woman, because men, the talent they have for hip hop, you got to really be coming for a man to truly appreciate your gift as an artist, as a female rapper. So as a whole, men and women, if you get down, depressed, if you have thoughts that aren't unhealthy, seek help. If you may be married, your significant other, you may not be embarrassed to talk about it, still seek help. Even if it's just talk with somebody, a professional, in the mental health field, just talk to someone. You'll be amazed how much better you'll feel if you talk, All
right.
I'm not a professional, but that's,
All right. Now, you mentioned being an independent artist, and you've always been an independent artist. What would be your advice to, especially the ladies, pursuing music from an independent standpoint?
Believe in yourself, first and foremost, and I only speak from experience, never give up. Be yourself. Believe in yourself. Don't give up, and be yourself. Don't try to be anyone else. Focus on your gift, and that's it. But music isn't always, you can't predict your success with anything in life, but with music especially, you can't predict your success, but never give up. And I would say, if you're doing music, do it because you love it. I know some people do it just for money or whatever, but I do it because I love it.
All right, now, once you reemerged, as CEO Sekhmet. Why the name change?
Oh, no, Vic, I just go through changes in life. And I was like, kind of analyzing myself, self-analysis. I'm an independent artist. I've always been independent. I've always done this on my own. I've been my own team. I'm the CEO of my life. I'm the CEO of my career. So that's why I changed it and used that moniker. I think that's the word. Put some singles and albums out under that moniker, and then came back to being Aisha. That's the name my mother gave me. I love my name. And so I'm Aisha Sekhmet again.
Okay, now I'm looking at your discog here on Spotify, and you have really put in work.
Thank you, Vic.
Because your project, The Answer, that was 2009. And man, you had records like Black Power Rock, Hidey Ho,
I remember that.
White Man's Bitch. Like, just as an artist and going through these different, we're gonna call them phases of life. How do you feel in 2021? Let me ask this, because CEO Sekhmet, that's when I start hearing you doing more vocal as far as singing, and you were still rapping, but I started to hear you sing more. When did you discover that voice?
I don't know. I grew up in church. We were in the choir. So I always liked to sing. My aunt was a singer. I don't know, just playing around with melodies and just doing different stuff, I guess. I don't know. But I'm a rapper. I'm not a singer.
But you sing, and you sing well.
Oh, thank you. You are too kind.
Okay, so now
I love music. So sometimes I sing my own hooks. Sometimes I'll get other people to sing the hook, but for the most part, I sing my own hooks. I write R&B songs. I write pop songs. So I write gospel songs. But I love singing, but I'm a rapper. So
now you have a record I want to ask you about that's on Spotify. Fucking for Beats.
Oh my God.
What was that about? I never heard of that record.
I forgot I wrote that, but I write a lot. Why did I write that? I don't know. Just talk about life, People do that. I never did it. Can nobody from Texas to Louisiana to Georgia say I ever laid down and slept with them for a beat? And can't say I owe them $1 for a beat. I do good business and I'm a professional. I do good business. I don't play games like that. No.
All right, going back to independent. Do you feel like being an independent artist, it's actually hard to find that unique sound that fits you and depicts you as an artist?
I think so. That's a good question. I do. It's a blessing if you're able to work one-on-one with a producer who is a musician. I've always looked for that throughout my career. And so on this new album, I've worked with some musicians, actual musicians who produce beats. But if you are an artist and you can get the true producer who's a musician and understands the theory of music, you can't lose, That's my theory.
Also, during the CEO Sekhmet era, it seemed like it was less RBG, more conscious, but not so in your face Black Power.
Yeah.
Was that because of some of the negative feedback you got from the conscious community?
I can't say that, because whether people accept me, reject me, or whatever, I'm always be me and pursue whatever cause or direction I'm going in. That doesn't sway me. I just slowly begin to just feel like this is not what I want to talk about anymore. And not because of people in the conscious community who felt I didn't look like a bohemian rapper, but I just got real frustrated with niggas. I'm serious. As a whole, it could be very frustrating dealing with Black people. We are smart, creative people, but it can be very frustrating, And so I just kind of just started to slowly wean myself away from that. And my perspective on life and race issues has changed a lot.
Okay. So what is your perspective today, especially on race relations, especially now that we have a brand new president? The world seems a tad bit divided, if no other reason, for political reasons. What is your perspective on race relations in 2021?
Good question. Aisha Sekhmet, I don't believe in race. We're one human race. I truly believe that Black man and woman were here first. I believe all human beings came from that Black man and woman. This is scientific fact. Unless you can prove to me that white people came from another set of beings and Asians came from another set and Hispanics came from another set. One human race. That's what I believe now. Of course, we're born under a system where we view each other by color. We're born believing in race. We're born into fucked up situation of historical wrongs, you know. But for the most part, I don't deal with that anymore. I don't believe in race anymore. Now, because of the things that have happened in this country that you can't ignore, we are subject to a lot of thoughts and belief systems. That's just what it is. So, you know, I still have views on segregation. I have views on reparations. I have views on a lot of things. But for the most part, I believe we're one human race. And I believe Black man and Black woman are the original human beings on this planet. And that's who everybody came from. The truth doesn't care about your feelings. That's what it is. Black man is the original man on this planet. If I'm lying, correct me.
I don't disagree. Okay, so CEO Sekhmet disappears. All the music and stuff disappears again. And now we're here in 2021. You're smiling, you seem happy, seem like you got some bouncing. You know what? Even before I go 2021, the one thing I always, especially when you were recording under the moniker CEO Sekhmet, it seemed like not only did you move away from the RBG and the conscious rap, but it seemed like your sound started gearing more towards paying homage, and your visuals were paying homage to those in hip hop before you. And even now, I hear that homage, that paying homage, that sound, and that fun in your music. So is it fair to say that you're happy and in a good place now, or is just all this part of your progression?
I think I've always been happy and in a good place. Everybody has their ups and downs. I have a huge amount of respect and admiration for every single artist that came before me, especially the people I grew up listening to, because they taught us what hip hop truly is. I've said a lot of things over the years, especially when I was going through very angry periods of my life and thinking I'm doing the right thing, being this political rapper or whatever. For the most part, I don't have any hate for anyone. I have the utmost respect for the pioneers of hip hop, current artists who are doing well in hip hop. But paying homage, I think, is very important. I think people, the greats, some of the greatest hip hop artists, you don't know what people have been through to use the gift that they have. And as you get older and as you go through this thing called life, you realize that. So I just want to give a shout out to all the people who inspired me. And that's almost everybody in music, male and female.
Okay. 2021, 2020, 2019, women are dominating hip hop.
Wow. Yeah, that's something else.
Number one, being in this game for as long as you have, did you ever think that you'll see a time there'll be so many women close to the top of hip hop?
Yeah, because I grew up seeing buku women not dominating, but being successful. Salt and Pepper, MC Light, TLC, Escape, SWV, and some of those ladies are R&B, but I've always seen a healthy balance of men and women in the music industry, in the Black music industry, always. So it never surprises me, not at all. But I grew up seeing that healthy balance, and that inspired me to, that I was dancing back in high school. So seeing all those ladies, JJ Fad, 357. I mean, we just had so many great female artists. Trina, Lil Kim, Foxy Brown, Eve. So I would love to see, I know we have the City Girls, but I would love to see more female groups. I would love to see more male groups too. But I would love to see more female groups. People love groups. They love that. But it's just always an inspiration to see a female hip hop artist win. It is.
Okay. Now, it also seems very apparent in modern hip hop, as I call it, the pussy rap era. It seems like a lot of women, a majority of the women, make songs that are talking about their body and their expertise in the bed. How do you feel as a female in 2021 when it comes to that type of rap? Especially because at one point in time you had pussy on your grill. So
I can't tell people what to write about. You know, people felt offended when I made Black Power songs or whatever. Men and women are two different beings. We don't think like y'all. You guys are I'm not saying women aren't smart. You guys are extremely smart and great at hip hop. You just are. That's why you dominate it. You may see women winning, but men dominate hip hop for a reason. You guys are smart as hell. You really are. And just a lot of times the way you think, we don't think like that. We just want to have fun. Women love sex. And so, but society, and I think our community even, we want to see women be nice and poised and have, you know, don't talk about raunchy stuff or whatever. But, you know, that's what they want to talk about. I don't know, who am I to judge? But on my new album, I don't have any pussy songs.
Zero.
Oh, there's so much more in life to talk about than sex.
Do you feel like at your point, at the stage of your career now, that will be going backwards? Not that you're saying anything negative about anyone that does it, but do you feel like for you as an artist, that will be going backwards?
No, an adult likes to have sex, whether it's a woman or a man. You can talk about whatever you want. You can be 50, 60 years old. If you want to talk about what Clarence Carter, I be stroking. You can tell Clarence Carter he couldn't sing that song.
Yeah, you're right.
So, what, he probably was in his 60s when he made that?
I'm sure. I guess because we live in a world of double standards and it's okay for men to rap about it, but then a lot of men get very judgmental when the ladies do it.
Y'all gotta stop doing that to us. Like, a woman doesn't have hormones? A woman doesn't like sex? A woman can't talk about what she likes? I prefer to hear a raunchy song from a woman than to hear a song from a Black man saying violent shit. No, you know, but I understand. I'm not a man, never will be. And you guys think differently. And no matter how gutter y'all come, how violent y'all come, y'all just don't be wanting to hear women rap like that. And I think I understand. I understand the foundation of why y'all don't, you know, it could be deemed as just disrespectful to yourself. But, you know,
okay,
time and a place for everything.
Yeah, you're right. So fast forward, 2021.
Yes, sir.
Aisha Sekhmet is back. Brand new project, Life is What You Make It. Let's talk about it. What went into making it? Who are some of the people you work with? And what do you want your new fans and your remaining fans to take from it?
I started recording this album earlier this year. It's 9 songs. The first single is called Life is What You Make It. It's just a lot of lyrics about life, never giving up, striving, party record here and there, money record here and there. But for the most part, this is my 8th album. And I don't know, I just felt the urge to write. Artists are like that. We may go for years and then just put something out of the blue. First song is produced by Craig B of Beats by the Pound from New Orleans. And like I was saying, it's good to work with musicians who are producers. Craig is a musician. He's produced a lot of great records. He produced for No Limit for a long time back in the day. So I'm blessed to work with him and know him. He also produced 2 other records on the album. I have some songs produced by musicians from New Orleans called Beat Making Gorillas, also known as the BMGs. They produced 2 records. Bass Heavy from New Orleans produced a record. And my guy, Mez from Pennsylvania, who I met a long time ago on Black Planet looking for beats. How crazy is that? He has kept in touch with me for many years, and he produced a record on my album called Survival of a Soldier. And my album comes out Monday, June 28th, which is tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Now, do you feel like this is your finest work?
I don't know. The best is always yet to come, Vic, but I think this is a great project. And I hope my fans like it. I really do. I know they want to hear political, they want to hear Black power. I'm just not leaning to that anymore. And I'm so sorry if I disappoint y'all, but I have one song in there called 1776. And it's kind of like revolutionary. I think they'll like it. But for the most part, this is straight hip hop. This is a straight hip hop album.
All right, now, when I look at the cover looks very vintage. Tell me a little bit about the concept of the cover.
Okay, so I'm paying homage, my hairstyle. Of course, I grew up when women were wearing their hair like this, but I saw a picture to Taraji Henson. I think it was her high school graduation picture, and she looks so dope. And she had the glasses. And I'm like, I called my girl and I asked her, can she do my hair like that? And we were laughing our ass off. And she was like, this is dope. I'm gonna try. And this is what you see.
So you keep it like that all the time now?
I wear it like this, or sometimes I like wear colorful wigs and stuff. But for the most part, I love vintage. I love the 90s. I love the 80s. So I wear it like this a lot.
I see you got the door knockers.
Oh, bamboo earrings, at least 2 pair.
All right. Why that title?
Life is what you make it, because, and not to, everybody has been through something. I have experienced a lot of ups and downs in my life, and my mantra is life is what you make it. I have to hold fast to that. That's what keeps me going, just through the ups and downs of life, that inspired the record I wrote and the title of the album.
All right. So 9 records, how many visuals can we expect?
I don't know. How many visuals you say?
Yeah.
I don't know. I got to see how people respond to it, and if they like it, and what song they like the most, and then I'll do a video for that. I want to do it that way. I want to really try to let my fans and new fans that I'll get kind of lead my process with this. But I have a video coming out.
Okay.
Just one so far. So.
Okay, so because when you were in Atlanta and when we used to have conversations, it's like you was always trying to find that record to break you on the radio. Do you feel like in 2021 that's necessary?
Yes. I think the radio is a great tool for an artist to be heard. You have so many millions of people in this world who love hip hop that aren't on social media. They listen to the radio. When you go in the beauty salon, when you get in your car, you may plug your phone up, but sometimes you listen to 104.1, or I think that was the station in Atlanta, right?
Mm-hmm.
I listen to Q93 New Orleans, if I'm running errands or whatever. Sometimes I listen to the radio on my phone through iHeart?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the radio is important. I really do. But social media is also important, I think we have been blessed. The internet is a blessing, especially for people like me who I'm not on a record label. I'm the record label. So having social media, that's a blessing. If I get 50 people to constantly support and listen to me, I'm so grateful for that, Vic, because you got a lot of artists out here and them folks ain't got to listen to me. So
yeah,
I'm grateful for that.
What does the future hold for Aisha Sekhmet?
Future's so bright, I have to wear shades.
Okay. All right.
The best is yet to come. As long as I never give up, I have to keep going. Always creating, writing, and just being forward thinking and thinking positive. That's what I foresee.
Is this project the most New Orleans, Louisiana influenced project when it comes to production?
No, even though I got some great producers from New Orleans, it's not. It's influenced by hip hop.
Okay.
It's influenced by what I grew up on.
But how did you feel working with people from the home place?
I felt great. New Orleans is special. Atlanta is special. New Orleans has some really deep musical roots. For some reason, it really does. It has some deep roots in jazz, has some deep roots in soul and R&B. It really does. James Brown said on his record Night Train that New Orleans was the home of the blues. Why did he say that? He knew something we don't know, so back then, way back in the day when he was grinding and in the chitlin circuit and stuff, New Orleans was known as the home of the blues. So that's some deep musical roots, blues roots in New Orleans that I would like to tap into. And the beat making gorillas who produced 2 tracks on this album, they are in a band called the Big Six Brass Band. Those guys play instruments. I can't play an instrument, so I'm in awe of musicians. I have a lot of respect for musicians, DJs, and producers, because I can't do that.
Okay. All right, before we get up out of here, what words of encouragement would you like to leave the people with, and how do you want to be remembered?
Words of encouragement. I know a lot of my fan base are politically savvy and socially conscious. At the end of the day, the burden of Black liberation movements could be heavy, and it could weigh heavy on your heart. It could be very discouraging because you don't see progress. First and foremost, take care of self. Self-care is important. Take care of yourself. Do what you can to make a difference in the world. And at the end of the day, don't bog yourself down with things you can't control, And how I want to be remembered? That I love people.
Okay. All right. I thank you so much. Once again, man, tell the people about the project and those other 8 projects.
Vic, first of all, thank you so much for welcoming me onto your show. I'm highly honored. I have a lot of respect for you. And I know you love hip hop. You're a hip hop head, a backpacker. My new album is called Life is What You Make It. It drops Monday, June 28th. I hope you guys enjoy it. And I hope what I put together inspires you and have your head nodding and you like it. Yep.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.